August 31, 2014, a date etched in the dark history of the Internet. The world woke up to a seismic shock. Hundreds of private, intimate photos of some of Hollywood's biggest stars, Jennifer Lawrence, Kate Upton, and many more were plastered across the web. It became an immediate global scandal, quickly dubbed the Fappening by online communities and Celebgate by news outlets. The outrage was palpable, a genuine moment of collective digital trauma that blurred the lines between celebrity culture and serious crime. But here's the most chilling and relevant part of this story. The perpetrators, the hackers behind this devastating leak, didn't employ some sophisticated, untraceable government-level software or a brilliant, complex code to bypass Apple's security. The entire massive and devastating leak was made possible by just two simple, common hacking techniques. These were methods so basic, so prevalent, that they are likely being attempted on average users every single day. This wasn't a profound, unfixable flaw in Apple's main security infrastructure. It was first and foremost a flaw in human security, a testament to the power of manipulation over technology. And today, we're going to expose exactly how they did it and lay out precisely what this cautionary tale means for the safety of your own digital life. The story of the Fappening is much more than just a historical account of celebrity gossip. It's a critical and ongoing lesson in digital self-preservation. When the news initially broke and the sheer scale of the breach became apparent, many people, including Apple initially, assumed a massive unfixable security flaw in their iCloud system was the primary culprit. Apple did, in fact, quickly patch a potential security issue in their Find My iPhone service that could have allowed for unlimited password guesses, a vulnerability we'll discuss later. But the real primary culprit had a much simpler, more insidious approach that relied on human trust and a lack of user vigilance. It all boils down to a combination of just two social engineering methods that are, worryingly, still incredibly effective for hackers today. This incident became a turning point in the conversation about digital privacy, forcing us to ask hard questions about what we store in the cloud and who has access to it. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand these simple yet powerful hacking methods in detail, but you'll also know the exact simple steps you can take today to protect yourself from falling victim to the same trap as these A-list stars. The primary method used by the main perpetrator, a man named Ryan Collins, was a classic yet devastatingly effective technique known as spear phishing. Now, you might have heard of phishing, where hackers send out millions of generic emails hoping someone takes the bait. Spear phishing is different. It's targeted. Collins wasn't sending generic spam. He was specifically targeting high-profile individuals, often after doing a little research to find out which services they likely used. The sheer brilliance and simplicity of his ruse were what made it so successful. He crafted emails that looked almost identical to official notifications from Apple or Google. The subject lines were designed to induce a small moment of panic or urgency. Security alert, password reset request, or unauthorized login attempt detected. Emails contained links that led the victims not to the real Apple or Google website, but to a meticulously crafted fake login page designed to look exactly like the genuine article. The moment the victims, believing they were securing their accounts, entered their usernames and passwords into that fake page, Collins captured them. It was an exercise in social engineering, exploiting human trust and a momentary lapse in vigilance. With these login details, Collins gained unfettered access to their iCloud and Gmail accounts, where he could then download entire device backups, including years' worth of private photos, texts, and contact lists. This simple manipulation, not a technical bypass, was the key that unlocked a trove of private data. The actionable advice here is crucial. Always check the sender's email address for inconsistencies and never click a link in an unexpected security email. Instead, navigate directly to the official website in your browser to log in and check for alerts yourself. While spear phishing was the primary method, a second, more technical flaw was exploited, likely by other hackers involved in the wider ring. This method centered around a vulnerability in Apple's Find My iPhone service. At the time of the incident, this particular service had a critical security loophole. It didn't lock users out after multiple failed login attempts. This absence of a lockout feature is a hacker's dream, as it allowed perpetrators to use software to brute force their way in. Brute forcing involves using a computer program to rapidly guess thousands or millions of different passwords until the correct one is found. This method was particularly effective because, shockingly, many people, even celebrities, still use simple, easy-to-guess passwords. Information like birthdays, pet names, or simple number sequences are easily discoverable through public social media profiles and can be guessed in seconds by modern computers. The combination of a weak password and the lack of a system lockout made this attack vector a very real and effective threat. Once inside, the hackers gained access to the same private data as those who fell for the phishing scam. Apple quickly patched this vulnerability after the leak, adding safeguards to lock accounts after a certain number of incorrect tries, a standard security measure known as rate limiting. The key takeaway from this part of the story is the importance of using strong, complex, and unique passwords for every single account. Avoid using easily guessable information. A robust password manager is the best way to generate and securely store these complex passwords. The scale of the breach prompted a full-scale investigation by the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office. The authorities didn't just stand by. They made tracking down the perpetrators a priority. The legal fallout was swift and impactful, sending a clear message that these actions constituted serious federal crimes. The primary figure, Ryan Collins, was eventually sentenced to 18 months in federal prison after pleading guilty to computer intrusion. It was a significant sentence for his crimes, though it's important to note he was charged with the hacks themselves, not necessarily the public leaking of the photos. Other individuals were also identified and prosecuted. Edward Mayerchik was sentenced to 9 months for his role in hacking similar accounts, and George Garofano received an 8-month sentence. The legal action brought a small measure of justice, but the damage had been done. The celebrities involved spoke out powerfully. Jennifer Lawrence, one of the most prominent victims, famously referred to the leak as a sex crime and a sexual violation. The incident sparked a massive public conversation about digital privacy, consent, and the deeply problematic culture of victim blaming that often emerges in such cases. The investigation highlighted the fact that even seemingly basic cybercrimes carry real-world, life-altering consequences for the victims and serious prison time for the perpetrators. The law, thankfully, was able to catch up with the hackers, proving that online anonymity is not a shield for serious federal offenses. The Fappening was a major international wake-up call for both the tech industry and the public at large. While the story was sensationalized, its core message was a serious one about the fragility of our digital lives. In response to the crisis, Apple significantly enhanced its security measures, most notably by heavily promoting and implementing two-factor authentication, or 2FA, for iCloud and all other services. This added an essential, robust layer of security. Even if a hacker manages to get your password through a phishing scam, they cannot access your account without a second code sent to your trusted physical device, rendering the password useless to them. The key takeaways from this incident are timeless. First, 2FA is not optional. It is essential in today's digital landscape. Second, privacy matters. Celebrities are human, and they have an absolute right to privacy, just like everyone else. The public nature of their jobs doesn't entitle anyone to their private data. Third, Cloud services like iCloud and Google Drive are generally secure platforms. But the weakest link in the chain is often the user's own login information and their vigilance against manipulation. This story changed how millions of people think about backing up their photos and what information they share online. It proved that in the world of cybersecurity, a basic understanding of threats is your best defense. The story of the Fappening is a powerful, enduring reminder that in the digital age, we are all potential targets. The methods used were, at their core, low-tech. They relied not on brilliant coding or breaking into secure government servers, but on human error, human trust, and simple, common manipulation. By understanding these two simple hacks, spear phishing and the brute force vulnerability, you can better protect your own private life and prevent your most personal moments from ever being exposed. Your data is your responsibility, and a little bit of knowledge goes a long way. What are your thoughts on digital privacy and the aftermath of this shocking incident? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this information helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of cybersecurity and tech. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you in the next video.